are gonna fucking die of laughter from this. So we're talking about her finally getting on board, and she's like, I don't know what it is. And I was like, like the thing is, what you're not understanding is I'm like, you literally just have to decide. Like you have to just be actually so completely fed up with the way that you currently are, that you're just like, no, I'm done like this, and you make a change. Like, you have to just hit that fucking, draw that line. And this is the most real conversation that her and I have ever had about her like working out and doing things like this. And so we're fucking going through, and I told her, I was like, I'm like, we've been together for 13 years. I'm like, you've been doing the same battle for 12 fucking years. I'm like, where it's up and down and up and down and start and stop and up and down. I was like, I did the same for 7. And then 5 years ago, I made a decision and I haven't looked back. I'm like, the thing for you is you just can't commit to it. You just have to make that fucking like, okay, you know what? I'm fucking done with this. Yeah. And she was like, she's sitting there and she's thinking about all this doubt. And she's like, I don't know where to start. I'm like, you can start anywhere, like anything, like you could just, no matter what, you just have to make it like, you have to have that, something click in your brain where you're just like, I am so fucking over with where I am right now that I need to make this change. Yeah. And I even reached out and touched her hand, and I was holding her hand, and I was just like, I'm so, like, it feels bad watching you go through this same struggle. We have all the information, everything there. And she's like, I know. And I was like, okay. Oh my God, I'm laughing inside. And I looked at her and I was just like, you need to get rid of the doubt. Are you a Canadian or are you Cantadian?
You're so stupid.
She's just like dead ass serious. Dead ass serious. I'm holding her hand dearly, and I'm looking her square in the eyes. And it's like the best heartfelt moment in the world. And I looked at her and I was just like, are you a Canadian or a Cantadian? And we both fucking, it was the best fucking thing in the world, because she died laughing and she's like, oh my God, this is why I fucking married you, and she kissed me. And then it was just like, it was perfect. It was perfect. I played it fucking amazingly. It was so fucking, and I was like, we're dying laughing. I was like, I can't wait to tell Michael this tomorrow. This is fucking amazing.
You're absolutely so dumb.
Fucking disgusting. It's a little too much. So my fucking...
I'll do 30s.
There you go. So my fucking Sober October is doing good finally.
Finally?
Because, well, no, like, because like...
Oh, you mean like you're on the path?
Yeah, I'm on the right path now. Yeah. So like started Sober October. Did this last year with my oldest son, because he was having a lot of issues getting off of video games. Hyper-focused as fuck, like it's the only thing that encompasses his mind. You can't have a conversation with him about anything other than video games. And so last year, I did it with him. He was grounded, and I was like, hey, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a whole month, nothing, no video games, no YouTubing video games, no streamers, no forums, no nothing. First little while this month sucked for me terribly, but I ended up borrowing a CPAP machine last weekend. So I'm like, today's Friday, I've had it since Saturday of last week. First 2 nights of sleep were fucking atrocious. And then Monday, I woke up like dead to the fucking world, like dead to the world. I couldn't do shit. Didn't take any of my meds, just kind of like carried on with some shit. Ended up watching some YouTube videos about how to like adjust the numbers on the fucking CPAP machine because it was way too fucking strong. And then, so I'm downstairs, I take my meds, I go downstairs, I figure out the shit, laying on my bed, and I'm just kind of like laying there, and I'm like, okay, fucking just not excited for the day. 10 minutes passed, and all of a sudden I was just like, I should cut my hair today. I should dye my beard. I should shave my legs too. Fuck, I've got time. I gotta make this meal. Oh, I gotta do this meal too. Oh, I gotta do these things. So I just like hopped out of bed and just started doing shit. So it was like my ADHD meds fucking kicked in, and I was like, oh shit. That night, I slept better with the CPAP machine. So in the morning, on Tuesday, normally I'll have like 20 minutes of like mindless scrolling on my phone because I just regret life and don't want to get out of bed. Yeah. And I like woke up before my alarm, and I was sitting there, I'm just like, Like, I feel all right. I got up, I took all my meds right off the hop, and I fucking crushed out so much shit. It was the most productive day I've had all year. I got like 4 meal plans and 2 workout plans done in 4 hours. It was just like fucking, just like, boof, hyper focus. Great fucking day.
She helped you.
Yeah.
As well.
Well, definitely. That night, slept a little bit better again. ADHD meds first thing in the morning, crushed out the rest of my shit because I had 2 new clients sign up on the weekend, finished all of their shit done. Where normally I get that all done on weekends, I get that done during the week, which was fucking awesome. I even went and started like pulling weeds and shit. Yeah. But like now, video games aren't on my mind now when I have free time, where like last week, all I would think about was video games. When I'm super tired and I'm like, I have nothing that like I need to do right now, or I'm just so drained, I'm just like, ugh, I just want to play games. But I'm finally now getting over that hump. We're on what's the date, like the 14th or some shit? Yeah, today's the 14th, so it took me 11 days. It took me 11 days to get out of that like heavy dopamine like need. So finally on the up and up, which is really good. So, one of the things you're gonna notice, I'm gonna be doing chest press here soon. And so you're gonna see me do some really weird fucking like rocking motion with my body, a really strange arm path. Reason is I have a really hard time connecting to my chest. So I've taken a few different like suggestions from different people. One person I actually took from was this gentleman, Gavin. When he does his chest presses, he goes straight up and lets his pinkies almost lean out at the very top as he brings his elbows in. And then there's a coach that's out in Toronto, Big Mike, and he like really has this big sense of like this rocking motion as you press, as if you're almost pressing yourself backwards into the pad. And each of those alone don't do fuck all for me, but together I look retarded, but it actually works really, really well. So one thing to note though, sensation is not everything. So sensation does not equal muscle growth or that you're challenging the muscle for it to be growing, but sensation does show you which muscle is getting the most stimulus out of the exercise that you're performing. So if you're feeling it in your triceps are doing most of the work. So essentially they're gonna be the most fatigued before any other muscle group that's there. With this, I feel this in my chest and it feels really fucking good, where like, you know, you could do pinch press, for example. If you're doing a pinch press with a plate, you're gonna feel that sensation in your chest, but in reality, there's really no tension. There's no like there's not a heavy enough of a weight that you're pressing to actually get the stimulus in your chest that you're aiming for. Even though you feel the sensation, it's not stimulating growth. But follow the sensation with adequately challenging the muscle. You get to a point that you're hitting mechanical tension, so like the unintentional slowing of your reps, and then that's how you're gonna grow some tits, like a real fucking man. It's true. These are facts. You mean with the 275 that we put on?
Yeah.
Ego lifted last week. Threw a leg extension machine. Threw the fucking stack on. I did like 10 reps. Walked away, and I was like, yeah, you might want to lower that. He's like, fuck that. Jumps on. Would you do 4 reps? You're like, wow, this is fucking stupid.
Yeah. You regret
It's like my knee hurts. My knee's sore.
Yep. Was it worth it? Absolutely not.
No, I'm surprised you didn't.
Do it again? Perhaps.
Probably, yeah.
Good chance.
I'm just happy you didn't rip a fucking patella tendon.
Too strong.
Too strong. Too strong. Big Siberian monkey.
I don't look strong. That's fine.
20s win? What do you mean?
Yeah, when you do 120.
Oh, I can do the 120s if I want. But I want, so right now, it's not a matter, so this is one thing that a lot of people get wrong. So a lot of guys especially, they come into the gym thinking like, hey, I'm going to the gym to lift weights. So they come in here and they try lifting as heavy as they fucking can. And they just keep trying to lift heavier, lift heavier, lift heavier. The idea with bodybuilding isn't lift the heaviest weights possible. It's make the exercise as proper but as hard as humanly possible with the lowest weight necessary to get the proper stimulus. That's bodybuilding. I can come in here, and I've thrown around the 120s for chest press before. I've gotten up to like, I think, 12 reps with them. But I don't feel anything in my chest. All I feel is like a general exhaustion where I can't press anymore, and then my triceps are mildly sore the next day. So it's like I'm not getting the stimulus on my tits like I want. So it's a matter of like, it's hard to change that mindset, and it took years. Like I'm still, certain exercises I'm still like, no, I'm gonna lift the heavier weights, but now we're at the point now, it's like, no, let's make the exercises as hard as you can with lighter weights, you get the proper stimulus, grow muscle instead. So soon, once I start running some more shit.
exercise. Fuck this one.
Probably.
Guys, too.
Yeah, it should be. Should be flies. So, as you'll see, we're doing the chest flies with cuffs now. So let's come out this way a bit. So I was having a lot of issues with my elbows. So I have a recurring golfer's elbow and tennis elbow that has been on and off over the last decade through blue collar work and then mildly overdoing it in the gym, normal bodybuilder shit. And we started using these cuffs as when you start to struggle, when you're using the handles, a lot of times you're gonna start pulling in, which ends up using these flexors in your forearm, And so when you have golfer's elbow, what that is the tendon that crosses the joint right here ends up swelling. And a lot of the time it's from that muscle pulling too hard. And so every time I would do flies, my elbows would seemingly get worse. And so I couldn't do like lots of curls and things like that. So those aspects of my body parts had to like lag behind because of it. Once we started using cuffs, what this does now is we don't have to utilize, like those muscles aren't really being like challenged anymore because we're not trying to pull in with our hands and we just let our arms kind of go. Massive elbow saver for sure. So it's one thing that I would recommend if you guys have the cuffs to try your flies with the cuffs, and that shit will help your elbows up for sure. Feels real nice too.
Yeah, sorry.
One more. Okay, good. Whew. I had nothing on the last one, as you could tell.
It was all me.
It's all you. After I just told him like, do less, he's like, okay, and then the last set was like, rep was just all him. It's like, this lying bastard.